Evan's Journey to Life. The Unconscious Mind as Inner Eve, 1, Day 53. As mentioned in the previous post, we're continuing into more detail with regards to why it was Eve in the story that ate from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and within that also specify further how, with the separation within ourselves between Adam and Eve, how it came to exist as a separation between males and females in existence, and also the separation within ourselves from our own minds and physical bodies. And within this separation of ourselves, within ourselves and the without ourselves, energy, authority, and mind and consciousness maintains and secures and ensures its eternal existence at the sacrifice of actual life as substance and physicality within and without. However, before we get to continuing with why and how it was Eve in the story that ate from the fruit, we'll complete the self-forgiveness statements as what we've done and become in the beginning with our relationship as energy to substance and life, into and as what we exist as now as the mind-consciousness system's relationship to the physical body and the world system of money's relationship to this physical existence. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to in and as equality and oneness with energy and substance and physicality. See, realize, and understand the extent of my separation from myself within myself, from the beginning as the manifested singularity, where I had accepted and allowed myself to separate me from my origin as the devil, consuming substance and life to transform and reverse into energy and evil. The action of my origins as Adam, as a deliberate friction and conflict that manifests the negative energy experience, from and of the energy polarities of negative, neutral, and positive as Eve, into and as a godhood, I God, manifestation as energy authority that had come to control all parts of my existence as energy, in and as my relationship to substance and life, with the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, representing the entire design and manifestation of and as me as energy, in and as my relationship to substance and life. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to in and as equality and oneness with and as energy and substance and physicality. See, realize, and understand how I still to this day, as the mind consciousness system's relationship to the physical body and the world system's relationship to this physical existence, within and as the internal and external relationship of me between the devil, Adam, Eve, and God and energy, authority, and consciousness, where I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to this day, exist as the mind consciousness system with my separation from me as Eve, where I now exist as consciousness as my authority and control, in complete separation from and of my own energy experiences of and as the negative, neutral, and positive as my energy body, of the mind as manifested within and as and throughout the unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind, where all my energy experiences, reactions, have been automated and controlled by and through consciousness, where, as I continue existing within and as the mind, my reactions and energy experiences automatically arise and manifest within my mind and physical body, with no directive principle, decision, or responsibility existent within what manifests within me and is experienced by me as energy, within and as the energy experiences of and as negativity, neutrality, and positivity. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how, in this automation of and as my energy experiences of negativity, neutrality, and positivity, as the manifestation of me as Eve, without me in and as the moment of breath actually, in fact, deciding as a directive principle to experience the energy and moments within me, exposing the reality of my accepted and allowed separation from and of me as Eve, as the energy experiences of and as the negative, neutral, and positive, where I do not even have control over and of the experiences that automatically arise and manifest within me, as controlled by and through consciousness. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to this day, exist as the mind consciousness system with my separation from me as Adam, where I now exist as consciousness as my authority and control, in complete separation from and of my own unconscious mind that constantly and continuously manifests friction and conflict to and towards and within my physical body, consuming physicality to transform into and as energy, where my entire unconscious mind existence had been automated, controlled by and through consciousness, where I continue existing within and as the mind, with no directive principle, decision, or responsibility existent within the process that manifests in the mind's direct relationship in the unconscious of constantly and continuously generating and manifesting friction and conflict, a relationship that I am not even remotely aware of and entirely oblivious to, due to and because of the extent of my separation from and of my own physical body, unconscious mind, and subconscious mind, where the awareness of me as energy only exists in the conscious mind, preoccupation of and as thoughts and energies that originate and come from within and as my unconscious and subconscious mind. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how, in this automation of and as my unconscious mind, as me, as Adam, manifesting the friction and conflict in and as the depths of and as my physical body, without me even remotely being aware of this relationship and entirely oblivious to this relationship, in and as my limited existence, in and as the preoccupation of and as the conscious mind, exposing the reality of my accepted and allowed separation from and of me as Adam, as the friction and conflict relationship of the mind to the physical, where I do not even have control and awareness of this relationship within and as me, as controlled by and through consciousness, and thus expose the reality of my separation from and of my own physical body. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to this day, exist as the mind consciousness system with my separation from me as the devil, where I now exist as consciousness as my authority and control, in complete separation from and of my unconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind. And so within that, in absolute separation from and of my own physical body, that I am in no way aware of and entirely oblivious to the process of and as the manifestation of me as the devil, as the reversing and consuming of physicality that manifest in and as the unconscious mind, friction and conflict relationship to and towards and within the physical body, that's become automated and controlled by and through consciousness for me, where, as I continue existing within and as the mind, preoccupied within and as the conscious mind only, the unconscious mind direct relationship to the physical, constantly and continuously consume from and of my physical body to transform and reverse into and as energy and evil for my entire mind consciousness system and God and consciousness authority to continue surviving with no directive principle, decision, or responsibility existent within what manifests within me in and as my unconscious mind's direct relationship to and as the physical body. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how, in this automation of my unconscious mind, direct relationship to, towards, and within the physical body as the manifestation of me as the devil, consuming physicality to transform into energy without me in and as the moment of breath actually, in fact, deciding as a directive principle the relationship of me and as my physical body, exposing the reality of my accepted and allowed separation from and of me as the devil within and as the unconscious mind, and so the separation of me from and of my physical body, where I do not even have control over and of this relationship that automatically, constantly, and continuously manifests within me as controlled by and through consciousness. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed myself to this day, exist as the mind consciousness system with my separation from me as God and energy authority and consciousness, where, with me existing in absolute separation from and of my own unconscious mind as origins as the devil, and actions as Adam, in and as my unconscious mind's direct relationship to and as my physical body as friction and conflict, consuming substance to transform and reverse into and as energy and negative energy experience that I am entirely unaware of and absolutely oblivious to, as well as my absolute separation from and of my own subconscious and conscious mind energy polarities, experiences that automatically manifest and come up within me, to my thoughts in my conscious mind that automatically manifest and come up within me, all of which exist in and as automation, without my decision, directive principle, will, and responsibility, as all and everything within me, in and as my absolute separation from and of it, is being controlled and directed and manipulated and determined by and through consciousness as the God and energy authority of and as my entire mind consciousness system that exists for me. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand how, in this automation of my entire mind consciousness system existence by and through consciousness and energy authority that exists for me, without me in and as the moment of breath actually, in fact, deciding as a directive principle who I am in every single moment of breath within as my physical body, exposing the reality of my accepted and allowed separation from and of me as God and consciousness and energy authority, And so the separation of me from and of my physical body, where I do not even have control of anything that automatically manifests within and as me as the mind consciousness system, as controlled by and through consciousness itself. In this, I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed myself to see, realize, and understand the extent of my accepted and allowed separation from and of me as Eve, Adam, the devil, and God and consciousness and energy authority. That I had been acculturated into and as by those that had gone before me as my living examples, where I, myself, and those that had gone before me had not seen, realized, understood the manifested consequences of accepting and allowing a system to exist for us as consciousness and energy authority that automates our existence as the mind and in and as the physical body, existing in separation and automation to such an extent that it had become ordinary, yet not seeing, realizing, and understanding the manifested consequences that is and always has been throughout our existence, manifesting in and as our mind's direct relationship to and towards our physical bodies, existing in separation and automation of ourselves as a system to such an extent within ourselves that we had not seen, realized, and understood our physical, external, proven example of and as the world system of money's relationship to this physical existence, as the consequence the current world system is physically illustrating within accepting and allowing a system to exist for us as humanity, instead of us as humanity from the beginning, standing together in and as equality and oneness, directing, taking responsibility for ourselves and each other in and as equality and oneness. In this next post, we'll complete the self-forgiveness process, walking of ourselves in and as our external existence as the world system of monies, manifestation within and as a relationship between God and energy and money authority, Eve, Adam, and the devil. And within this, conclude the context of and as the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and why and how we have never questioned our existence as the mind to the physical and the world system of money to this physical existence, from the perspective of never, in fact, standing up and standing together for global change in and as equality and oneness. From here, we will continue with the existence of the connection between Eve and the eating of the fruit and the consequences of this story as our own existence as the mind's relationship to the physical and the world system of money's relationship to this physical existence. I commit myself to, through writing self-forgiveness and self-corrective application, assist and support me in unifying me as the mind with and as my physical body, to no more live blindly, ignorantly, and obliviously in and as my automated existence as the mind in relationship to my physical body, in and as such separation, where I have no idea and reference and blueprint of how my mind is existing for me and what the consequences will be for me, my physical body, and my future in this world and reality, with accepting and allowing a system to exist for me, instead of me being the directive living principle and absolute awareness within as my physical body, wherein and as this equality and oneness within as my physical body, I am absolute aware of who I am in every moment of breath and an absolute responsibility and awareness of and as each decision I make within and as who I am in every moment of breath. I commit myself to, through writing self-forgiveness and self-corrective application, assist and support me to, as I walk each point, I write as each part of me, as the mind I have separated my directive principle of and from, and realign that point and part of me within and through writing, self-forgiveness, and self-corrective application, from survival and evil to actual practical living within and as the starting point of and as equality and oneness. I walk to my process of being and becoming the living directive principle here in and as every moment of breath with and as my physical body. In this, I commit myself to, as I walk my process within me of aligning my mind into and as my physical body, as the process of walking out of separation, automation, and evil into and as directive principle living, as birthing me as life from the physical. I equally as one walk my process in the without as me, as the world system of money's relationship to this physical existence, and investigate and research how we can take each point and part of the world system to align in and as equality and oneness with and as humanity in this physical existence, to ensure that each human being and this physical existence is equally as one, considered and regarded to ensure each and all parts of existence is taken care of and cared for equally as one. I commit myself to be and become the directive living principle of and as me in and as equality and oneness, with and as my physical body and this physical existence for the generations to come, to from and of and as me, stop the sins of the fathers as the acculturation of a human being into an as this world system, through aligning themselves into an as separation, automation, and evil that's become the rotten fruit of an as existence and humanity, tree of life, but becoming a living example of an as life, for the fruit that come from and of the tree of life can be birthed and so live as life, and stop the process of rotten fruit coming into existence, but that the children to come can in fact be the future of this world, and humanity in walking themselves as living examples of life, and manifest so heaven on earth.